Hey, American contractors, viewers of the American Contractor Show. I'm here with John Dye at Win the Storm, and I have to tell you, anyone that is associated with American Contractor Show, you are a badass.
Big shout out to American Contractor Show. If you don't know, you definitely need to check out the Storm Summit. They're doing it in excellence. Check them out.
Hey, what's up? This is your friend, Francisco Serrano. If you haven't checked it out, American Contractor Show, YouTube channel, Facebook channel, Twitter, Instagram, all the platforms, you need to go them, like them, start learning about your craft.
Hey, I'm Matt Danskin with Restoration Referral System. Check out the American Contractor Show. The truck that they've got is awesome. Everything else that they have going on.
This is Larry Bache with the Northern Law Group, helping policyholders for more than 30 years. If you have a claim or your client has a claim that needs help, please feel free to call the Northern Law Group because we are the true policyholder advocate.
C3 was eager to help us, and even whenever we weren't giving them work, they were still eager to give advice. The things that they were putting out for the pertaining from DMO to RFG and giving that to the industry and not charging anything for it, I thought was really cool. And that's stuff that I as a contractor appreciate. I'd recommend C3 to any contractor who's looking for a PA, especially if you're around Colorado. Great guys, man. I'm nothing but happy with the work they've done for us.
The receiver. Oh, you're back on now. I'm back on? Yeah. Well, it was off, so I bet the battery is dead in here.
Just keep talking and we'll get batteries.
Yeah, battery's almost dead. All right, guys. Well, had a nice weekend. Apparently we left the receiver on, so battery's going to die. So we are gonna try to get through this as quick as possible. Frank will put new batteries in here in just a second. Now. We good? Yes?
Yes.
All right, now we're here. Now we got sound. Battery's brand new. Let's just jump right into it, shall we? Thanks as always to our sponsor, C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, and show here we got hail has gone north. It went north last week, and we're kind of stuck there. We're really stuck to the northern plains here, and we're gonna kind of go over why did all the storms pretty much leave. So, you know, we had this pattern that was pretty much exclusively Texas, like I see in the comments here, and then now it's suddenly up in Montana and North Dakota. What's going on? We'll kind of talk about that a little bit. And finally, the tropics are starting to brew. We do have a potential development we want to check in on at the end here. Our tropical updates are apparently going to start creeping in earlier and earlier into the year as we seem to just keep having things happen earlier and earlier. So we got some events coming up before we get into the forecast. We have the 2021 Texas Roofing Conference that's going to be at the JW Marriott Resort in San Antonio next week, right? Yeah, next week on June 16th through 18th. Come check us out there. We'll also be at the Burgers and Bikes event here by the Thunder, Harley-Davidson, and Moore, Oklahoma on the 25th. That's for pretty much everybody working that Norman storm, the only non-Texas big-time storm we've had so far this year. So come check us out at that. Come say hey. Let's look at those current conditions right now. If you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, you had some thunder and lightning, a ton of rain this morning, and it's still going on here as we have a complex of storms from overnight that has ripped across the Metroplex and continues moving off to the east. That could cause some severe weather later on. And then further to north, where our risk area is, not a lot happening right now, and it's going to be pretty quiet till we get to those storms that form later on this afternoon. Temperatures are finally starting to look more like June across a good chunk of the country. 69 in Dallas, of course, it's raining, so it's going to be a little chillier. Chillier here in Oklahoma City, but 82 in Denver, mid-80s in Minneapolis. It's been warmer in North Dakota, Minnesota, and even into the Northeast than it has in a good chunk of the Southern Plains so far in the past couple weeks. And that's because we have a big-time system here kind of keeping everything all jacked up for what we're used to this time of year. Dew points got plenty of moisture to work with across everywhere east of the Rocky Mountains. So moisture is not a problem now. We are in June. We're going to have a lot of storm potential there. So we're jumping right in that future radar. So where we're expecting storms is going to be across North and South Dakota today, and it's not going to be until a lot later. I'm pushing this all the way to about 7:30. You see those storms trying to form down by Rapid City in the bottom corner of your screen, and storms do end up happening here across the Dakotas late tonight. So after sunset, at least down south, the sun might still be up here in North Dakota at 10 o'clock. We have storms forming in North Dakota, and there we go. Storms moving through the Fargo area about 1 o'clock in the morning, but notice it's a lot of clusters, not too much of isolated supercells we want to see, so that might keep those hail sizes much further or much lower. So of course here at noon we have those storms moving through Dallas, and the models are showing this continues to push off to the east, and there could be some hail with this, especially along the trailing edge of this system here. Could see potentially some hail well south of the Metroplex, but still north of Austin. So, and then that is going to keep pushing off to the east. You could see some storms, possibly have some hail, and definitely some gusty winds across sections of Louisiana this evening as well. And this model is showing some stuff back by the Texas Panhandle in the late evening hours and pushing into the overnight, as a couple rogue storms may race across the area there going towards 4 o'clock in the morning. Might be kind of a rinse and repeat of what we had this morning and today, where you get storms forming out west, turns into a squall line, and rips across the Metroplex the following morning. So what does that make our hail forecast look like for today? Two different areas. I got a little swath here, just pretty much right along the southern edge of the storms moving through Dallas right now, where you could see some of that hail, and also the hail potential in North Dakota and parts of South Dakota. We're going to start down here by Texas, where I got Killeen and Lufkin, both at a low chance of some $1 to $1/2 size hail. I think a wind risk is better, but this has primarily been non-severe this morning. But as we get to the heating of the day in areas that aren't clouded over or rained on, we could see that storm potential bubble up, a little bit more severe potential. Winds around 60 and hail up to the $1/2 size. Further off to the north here, North and South Dakota, from Rapid City to Bismarck to Fargo, could see some storms tonight. Again, unless we saw on that future radar, nothing really formed until after about 8 o'clock, possibly even 10 o'clock. So this could be an overnight event. I have further off to the west, we got a little bit more instability to work with by Bismarck and north of Rapid City. You could see that up to golf ball size hail, but not gonna lie, a lot of this is pretty void of people. So unless it hits Bismarck, Fargo, or Rapid City, not a lot of folks really at risk for this hail threat for today. And we push ahead that future radar for tomorrow. Notice we are up north yet again, as that potential for storms does bubble up across areas further to the west here. About 4 o'clock, you see storms in central North Dakota, and then a lot more activity here up by Montana and into Canada as well, where we could see some bigger hail tomorrow. I think we have a bigger threat for some storms tomorrow, and then even back by Rapid City. We push through again those evening hours at about 10 p.m. Notice all the activity happening here. Could have some big time hailers in far northeastern sections of Montana and into southern Canada as well. And then by 11 p.m. it's starting to get a little bit more messy as storms kind of merge together as the sun does start to set. Notice sunset, when you get this high up in latitude, get into Canada, it really starts being a lot later. It's not 8:30, 9 o'clock, it's much closer to that 10, 11 o'clock hours. So got a lot more daylight to work with these storms. So with that hail forecast, we are flying way north here for your Tuesday, where you could see up to that tennis ball size hail areas where you saw those supercells. But again, there's not a lot of folks there. I had to really kind of figure out what I was going to put in this. I got Regina, we got Winnipeg, Minot, probably your best chance. I mean, really your best chance is going to be over here, I think like Glasgow or something, but there's not a lot of people at risk. And that is the problem with these storms possibly happening in the northern plains. You got to kind of hit a needle in a haystack to really hit anybody. So why exactly are we having these problems? And it really comes down to the jet stream, which I highlighted here on our future radar map. Notice it goes up past the top of our screen, goes behind our banner here. The jet stream went from being down into Oklahoma and parts of these central plains, and it shot itself way up into Canada all of a sudden. You have that nice trough in the west. This is what you want to have for severe weather, but notice how far to the west it is. You know, you shouldn't have the access to the trough, so the lowest point of the trough be over the Pacific Ocean. You want it to really be kind of near Colorado. You want the real access to be like the Four Corners region, so that way you get the instability, you get all the triggers for the storms to be over the plains and parts and areas off to the east like the Great Lakes. But instead we have a building high pressure system, so basically stable air, warm, hot, very hot air is going to be bubbling up and really start to dominate as we get onto the midweek. It's finally going to get more like summer across a lot of the southern plains as we get into the later portions of this week. We're going to have a widespread 90s across a good chunk of the country, but unfortunately all of the activity that's going to trigger those storms is got the big trigger, the jet stream, is way up into Canada. You get that big, whoops, oh no, what happened to my thing? Well, point is, you had the activity really staying up to the north here, so you got that Wednesday forecast, and then you have that Thursday potential as well. Unfortunately, apparently my show didn't want to continue to make you guys sad at the fact that, yes, the rest of this week is going to start getting hot, and that might be here to stay. You've got a summer-like pattern here in June that's going to keep a lot of these risks pretty far to the north and kind of stay there for at least the upcoming week or so. So, and also with that, it does bring the potential for some tropical activity as we have the jet stream, which is going to cause a lot of shear, a lot of strong winds shooting way north. It gives the potential for tropical development here in the Caribbean. Over the next 5 days, 20% chance this area highlighted in yellow could potentially become a tropical system. That would be B, which I don't remember what the name is going to be. I know Anna already happened. So that's what we're looking at for today, guys. Don't kill the messenger, be the bearer of some bad news. Unfortunately, it looks like we have a lot of activity. Canada's stealing a lot of our activity coming up here. So follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. What do you see in Central Ohio? Central Ohio, you got this. Great Lakes have pretty much been completely shut out from storm season so far this year, and that's not going to change, at least in the very near term, the next 4 to 6 days. So we'll try to keep you updated. Things could change here, but it looks like some warm weather is really starting to kind of dominate the country. Give us a call, 855-334-4245. You might find some old damage, get you guys through potential of not too many storms coming up here in your area. We can help you out. Give us a call, email us, or visit our website. More details. I also got the link below that can bring you to our social media platforms directly, a more info page, and to our sponsors. Have a great rest of your Monday, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow. I'm meteorologist John Choquette.